I just thought with the recent developments in the political atmosphere throughout North America, I thought it would be important to just quickly get on a call, share my thoughts, share a little bit of history of where, and just how and what questions you're probably going to get from consumers. Okay. Before I jump in, does anybody have a particular concern that you want me to address? Either just, tell us what you're thinking, or just put it in the chat and I'll address it. Okay. If I don't address it during and this is going to be an open conversation because there's lots of great minds that are here. There's, lots of people who've been in the real estate market for a long time who have seen different market conditions that we can relate back to. Okay. But first, let's get started. During our fall forecast session, we talked about the upcoming 2025 market being stronger because interest rates were falling, confidence in the marketplace was becoming better. First-time buyers, consumers were starting. We saw October, November, even December start coming off of the sidelines and getting back into the marketplace. We also said during that session, unless something unpredictable outside influences came about. Well, we had a new government coming in for the United States with new policies that are different than the policies that were being presented for 2025. And then recently we have our own Canadian government that has now been put on hold for several months. Those are outside influences that cannot be predicted. Okay. So how does that affect the real estate going forward for this year? And I'm getting the question, so I thought, you know what, let's just have a quick call on it. The easiest decision for consumers is to make no decision at all. Right? Would you agree with that? Mm-hmm. Okay. So when it comes down to anytime there's an election, anytime there's something that is uncertain in a marketplace, it is very common. I have seen it. Remember, I've been doing this 44 years now. So I have seen this in many different aspects, okay? That the consumer, where there is an opportunity for them to make no decision, the best decision is no decision for them, okay? In their mind. I disagree, but in their mind, no decision is the best decision. So as a real estate professional, you need to be able to express what is going on in the marketplace, for one, that this is not uncommon. We've been through this before. This is how we got through it. And this is what happened after we got through it. Okay? That is the way that you as the real estate professional will be able to do lots of business, because lots of realtors in this environment will actually stop working because they're going to go, I'm going to wait and see just like everybody else. As a real estate professional, wrong way to do it. Okay. So what you need to be able to do is you need to be able to go, okay, how do I explain this to the consumer? Well, first of all, anybody remember, or were you in the marketplace September 2008 to May 2009? And I know some of you, lots of you have. Tina, I know you were. Frank, I know you were. Others were as well. Do you remember what happened during that period of time? Anybody? And you don't have to be in real estate. You can just...
Well, the financial market crashed.
I got a second job.
But we because of Harper, didn't feel the same disastrous moves that the rest of the world did, in my very delicate opinion.
Okay. Any other thoughts? And you're right on track, Tina. Okay. So 2008, September, United States banks are literally crashing, going bankrupt. Basically freezes the economy both in the United States, in Canada, because of the uncertainty of where and what was happening. And Tina's absolutely right. In Canada, because of our financial policies, we were way more stable than most of the countries in the world. Okay. But between September 2008 and May 2009, consumers throughout Canada basically said, I'm going to take a wait and see approach. Real estate market ours didn't crash, but the activity levels definitely were slower. Okay. And so what took place is, in that period of time, you had consumers that were again going, oh, there's so much going on with the economy. We're not sure where it's going to go. Best decision is no decision. Okay. Fast track. All of a sudden we get to May 2009 and everybody's looking around going, well, you know what? It's not too bad. It seems to be better. I think I'm going to start going. Well, from May 2009 for the next 10 years, we had a market that was strong, balanced, and increased annually. Okay. So I highly recommend you read up, check the graphs, understand that, because that is the story you need to be telling your consumers on where the opportunities are for what we're going to go through these next 6 months. Okay. So where are those opportunities? First of all, let's get rid of the negative noise. That is going to be your number one priority, is to get rid of the negative noise that's out there. So I pulled a couple of these things off during my research. An economist at RSM Canada said the resignation of the Prime Minister introduces a new wave of uncertainty that could deter foreign investment. Political stability has historically been one of Canada's strengths, attracting global investors. Noted, and this shakeup creates hesitation at a crucial juncture for the economy. The latest bout of political instability could delay recovery, as businesses could delay hiring and investments, instead adopting a wait and see approach. This is from the Financial Post. As inflation eases and the Bank of Canada considers interest rate cuts, 2005 was expected to be a rebound year, but political instability could jeopardize the recovery. That's the noise that consumers are getting and seeing. Okay. The reason I wanted to do this again is to let you know we have history to show that it's a very short window. Okay. So as a real estate professional, then it's a matter of, what are the opportunities? Okay. What are the opportunities that I can present to consumers, explain to consumers, and let them understand that this is an opportune time. And if you talk to anybody that did any type of investment in September 2008 to May 2009, any type of investment, any type of real estate move, bought a new place, moved, they are so far ahead of the game today by doing that versus taking the wait and see approach. Okay, so use that as the history to explain to your consumers, this is an opportune time. There is going to be lots of business that's going to happen over this next 6 months. So if you're the one that's going to be active and consistently doing the things you need to be doing, having the tools of being able to explain the opportunities, then you're going to do very well. If you're going to be an agent that is going to be similar to what lots of agents I have seen do in the past, where it's like, you know what, I'm just going to sit back, wait. I've even had agents tell me that, you know, over the years, or they get into this scenario, I just tell my clients to just wait and see what happens. Not the position I take, not the position I've ever taken, unless it's the right advice for that individual person. Okay. So knowing that, history shows us that this is going to be a short window. Now, when I say short window, 6 months or a year in a history of a real estate transaction is a very short period of time. Real estate is a long-term investment. Okay. So what do you guys think are opportunities? People have been through the market before. Where do you think the opportunities are? I have 4 that I've already highlighted, and I'm going to share with you. But I'd love to hear from you. Where do you guys think the opportunities are?
The one opportunity I've seen on a consistent level right now, because I had a condo for sale, is condos. And condos in the listing I had was right next to Square One. That has dropped by almost $100,000 in price, and they continue to drop.
Yeah.
So condos for sure is a great opportunity for those looking to get into one. This is the time. It's a fire sale.
Well, you hit that one right on the head, because that was my number 1. So number 1, I have condo buyers, first-time buyers. Okay. What are the opportunities? Lower interest rates, lower price, lots of choice, less competition. And if I'm a buyer and I have those, and I see these 4 things over the history of what we've had the last 5 years, to me, that's an opportunity. So who do you need to be marketing to? First-time buyers, condo buyers, people that are currently renting, right? Because what you have to look at is the condo market is going to dry up in about 3 years. Okay, that's my prediction. Julia may have more insight for at least the downtown stuff, but in the GTA, I can tell you that I know of several builders that have actually canceled new projects and will not be releasing them for another 24 to 36 months. Once they release a project, it takes 5 years to be able to get the first occupancy of people in. Okay, so where's the opportunity? Well, the opportunity right now is condos are saturated, lots of choice, less competition. You really can get a good deal. 3 years from now, all the new construction, people have already moved in. Now you're in a position where there's no new releases. So what happens to the amount of what happens to the amount of units that are in the marketplace? Less, which means prices go up. In 2 years from now, you're going to have the restriction lifted on international foreign buyers being able to buy. You're also going to have, currently right now for the next few years, they have lowered the amount of immigration. I'm going to predict in 2 to 3 years from now, they're actually going to ramp that way back up. So now you're going to have that influence happening as well. Again, remember, real estate's a long-term investment. But if you can buy at a lower environment, knowing what can take place 3 to 5 years down the road, then that's an opportunity. So absolutely, condos, right? What's another opportunity? No matter where you are, what's another opportunity?
Seniors,
Seniors.
they have to sell.
Yeah. Right? No matter what the marketplace is, there are people that have to buy and sell. And seniors, absolutely. Tina, your experience working with them over the years, it doesn't matter the environment. When they get to that point where it's, I need to downsize or I need to sell, they do it. right?
Mhm.
So what are you doing with your marketing, or what are you doing with any of your referencing your database about, or your social media about what you can do to help seniors downsize?
I all the time.
Yeah, Tina, you do it all the time. I know you do a great job, right? But once one of the things that I can share, and I know Tina will as well, is a lot of times the senior's not the one making the decision on the timing. It's their kids.
Mhm.
Okay. I literally had a phone call pulling into the parking lot today. I have a neighbor 2 doors down from me, with a big house. They're getting up there, they maintain it all. I saw their 2 daughters over the holidays, and the daughters whispered in my ear, it's time for mom and dad to move. They don't know it yet, but it's time for them to move. I get a call from the wife this morning, actually both of them. Scott, can we get together just to chat? The girls are thinking maybe this would be the time for us to downsize, right? So you have to, and all of them, that whole family's on my newsletter. So by keeping in touch with the whole family, I had one family member reach out to me, not the people directly. Right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, look through your database and make sure that you're connecting with everybody. Okay. So absolutely, seniors are people that have to buy and sell, move, downsize at any given time. Okay. And also, you're absolutely right. And you guys want to get busy, book a trip. That's right. So, all right. So the one that I'm not hearing from anybody, okay, think about it. Especially the agents that have been around a long time. In a
Sources, family,
family, okay?
having a baby, need to increase.
Yeah. So I refer those to move up buyers.
Mhm.
You've heard me reference the gap. Okay. So when you're a move up buyer, the gap between selling your house and buying the new one in a heated marketplace is much greater. Way more difference between here and here in a heated market. In the market we're going to be in, and the market we're in right now, that gap has totally shrunk. So where's the opportunity? Right? The opportunity is moving up. So now you have young families that may be in a condo, or young couple in a condo. They're going like, okay, you know what? We're thinking about having a family. We're thinking about maybe we need to get more space. This is the ideal time. They may take a little bit of a hit on the condo they own because they may have bought at the peak. It comes down a little bit. They may take a little bit of a loss. But what's happening is the gap between where, if they would have tried to do it before, is such a huge difference a while ago. Now that has totally, totally shrunk. So what are you doing with your marketing, talking about the opportunities in the marketplace now to take advantage of lower interest rates, more choice in the market, because we do definitely have more listings, and the fact that the gap between moving up from where you are to where you want to get to has shrunk. That's a huge opportunity. Okay. So you need to be able to explain that and be able to promote that, because I think that is one of the best opportunities out there between the condos and the move up buyers. It's a perfect storm. Interest rates falling, choice, prices are lower. It's a perfect storm. So get rid of all that negative thinking. Get rid of, instead of being the agent that's going to talk about, the market's slow and all that, be the agent that's promoting, the opportunities. Do a blog about it, do a seminar about it, but promote that, because there is opportunities out there. Have examples of opportunities. Okay, Herbert just explained one, the condo that he has $100,000 less than what, they were selling for. That's an opportunity. Okay. Any other opportunities that you can think of?
I came across, at least in my neighborhood in Brampton, semi-detaches that were normally selling for over $1 million are now currently selling for below $1 million, so 900,000 or so. It's another great opportunity for those who are looking to get into the market. A semi-detached gives them the affordability.
Yeah, right. And where I'm going to just tag on to that, Herbert, where that opportunity is talk to people that are already in a condo that are paying $500, $600, $700 in condo fees. Right? Being able to explain to them to say, how would you like to get rid of your condo fee? Trade your condo fee in for a freehold. You should be marketing that, being able to explain it. If you actually, because the gap has shrunk, right? Interest rates have fallen, that condo fee that they're paying can be a big difference on how much more mortgage that they could have in a freehold. Are you marketing to that? If you're not, you should be. That's an opportunity in this marketplace. Okay. Anybody deal with investors? Rob?
Scott,
Yeah.
I would say one of the biggest opportunities for people with money is to buy those second properties, especially recreational based properties. And they're really fallen in price over the last year. So anywhere north of Toronto, you want to buy an investment property, not just commercial, but in investment, recreational properties, there is a ton of availability, and your money gets far more now than it did even a year ago.
Yeah. And that would be my third one that I have is, so we've had condo buyers, seniors, move up buyers, the gap. So fourth one would, I had investors. And just as Rob was saying, I have, my notes are less competition, better negotiating power, right? You have better negotiating power because you are, there's less investors in the marketplace right now. Okay. When you have better negotiating power, it means you get better terms if you're looking at buying an investment property, right? So again, interest rates have fallen. You have less competition. There are less investors out there right now, right? So when there's less investors, you have a way of getting better terms, as I say, okay? So don't ignore that area of opportunity. Have examples of, just like what Rob was saying, like, here's what it was selling for a year ago. Herbert said the same thing. Here's what this was selling for a year ago. Here's where it is now. Okay. Yes, rental rates have dropped a little bit. Okay. Rental rates have dropped a little bit depending on where you are, but nowhere near how much the prices have come down, how much the interest rates have come down, and where there are other opportunities in duplex, triplex, fourplex, and think anywhere in Ontario, right? One thing about in dealing with investors, they can go anywhere. They're just looking at, give me the, what kind of pricing do I have? What's my cash flow? What's my tenant base? Okay. And as Rob was mentioning, recreational property, if you can pick up a recreational property, and I know that we have some of our people that are from, the cottage, I call it cottage country. Kathy, I see that you're on, Kathy, hey, I see you're on this call here as well. I know that people are buying, hey, Kathy, great to see you. I know in your area, you get people buying cottage front, lakefront for Airbnbs and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of people are still buying recreational properties and then converting them to their year-round home too. Like,
right.
If it's like 2-3 years out, they're thinking about that retirement plan.
Okay, yeah, and now I know that Airbnb is still a big thing, right, for recreational properties?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I know Rob, you handle some. Kathy, I know in your area, you guys do a fair bit.
Can I
Is
weigh in
this-
on that Airbnb comment?
Yeah,
Be careful which township you go into, because some of them have some really strict short-term rental bylaws, which are trying to push the Airbnbs out.
right, okay, fair enough. Good to know. But there's definitely opportunities for investors now in areas of Ontario. Right? So look at that as an opportunity. Do your research. Thanks, Elroy, for pointing that out. Do your research. And look at other areas. We have people representing pretty all of Ontario here. Reach out to the other realtors in the other areas and say, hey, are there any investment opportunities in your area? Promote them. So right now, you've got condo first-time buyers, you've got move-up buyers, you've got seniors, you've got investors, okay? What, though, do you have to be able to do to be able to engage with any of this group?
More social media.
Social media, absolutely.
I think presence is important, right? And then at least people see you and then they connect when the time comes.
Right. Consistency, right?
Consistency, yes.
Consistency of the message that you're putting
Correct.
out there. First of all, make sure you've got a great mindset. If you're thinking negative about the marketplace, you're thinking negative about any of this stuff, you're not going to succeed. So if your mindset is not in the right place, first thing you need to do is get your mindset in the right place. And I'm giving you some areas to look at and analyze because this is an opportunity time. Okay. Second thing is really understand what programs are out there, right? If you're dealing with investors, make sure you understand the financing availability for them. What kind of down payments do they need? What kind of, are there any type of financing options for investments? They're still out there. Yep, Julia?
I was wondering, since the capital gains tax on investment properties is on a stall, it could be eliminated. There could be some investors that are looking to take advantage of that now. But of course, we don't know what CRA is going to say about that.
The latest that CRA put out was that they were going to continue with, even though it hadn't been passed by Parliament, they were going to take that as a rule of thumb. So if you sold, as my investors are finding, or my estate people are finding, that if there is a cottage, you are going to pay the capital gains tax on it. That is what CRA rules are right now.
Yeah, the rule, there's always been capital gains on properties that were, the issue is that when they brought in on June 25th, they actually brought in the different rate charges, up to 67%. Where the question is coming in is that particular version was never actually signed into law. So where the gray area is right now is if it was never signed into law, then the the position of some investors are, I'm just going to pay the 50%. And if I get assessed differently, once it becomes law, I'll pay the difference. But CRA has basically said, they're saying that they anticipate it will be law, but you don't know. So they're saying you still should pay the new calculation. So this is where that gray area is. But again, definitely understanding that and being able to follow that if you're dealing with anybody who has a secondary property, an investment property, family that have, a family cottage, right? So great, again, to understand the programs. And thanks for bringing up the CRA and the in that particular issue. But what about other programs? Okay, how familiar is everybody with the FHSA program? I have a few people staring at me going, I don't know what the hell you're talking
Yes.
about. Okay, this is one that you should know about. Okay, it's out there now. This is an opportune time, especially if you're looking, or if you're an agent that deals with a younger demographic. It doesn't matter how old everybody is, but it really might apply to first-time buyers looking to take advantage of this market down the road. Anyways, the FHSA is the First Home Savings Account. Okay, it's a new type of registered plan that's designed to help you save for your first home tax-free. Your contributions will be tax deductible like a registered retirement savings plan. Your qualifying withdrawals will be non-taxable like a tax-free savings account. Okay. Right now, this would be a great opportunity to make sure you understand this is available now, right? Here's an opportunity where you can go to, and project down, remember, long-term clients, right? But if you're not promoting this program to anybody that's currently renting, or, or people that haven't owned a home in 5 years, they can basically invest $8,000 a year for 5 years and take that money out, including any gains that they've made in the account, tax-free, as long as it's going to the part of a purchase of a house. Okay, make sure you understand that one. Make sure you're promoting it. Again, in these times when most people will be sitting on, most agents will be going, I'm going to take a wait and see approach. Consumers are going to go wait and see because they're getting the negative noise. You want to be successful in this business, be consistent with your messaging. Okay, understand the programs, present the opportunities, and you will win through this. Okay, so I'm going to share one thing that I do annually. I have done this 40 years probably. Okay, every year I go through everybody in my database, their name. I go through my phone, I go through my emails. I literally go through each person mentally in my head, and I go, where are they in their life today? Where is the opportunity that I think I might be able to help them with? An example would be, I have older clients, kids have moved out, they're in a big house by themselves. Where's the opportunity? Maybe they're ready for downsizing. So I would have them on my list. Now, that may not happen for 5 years, but I have that list in front of me daily. And then I would look at, okay, I have clients of mine, I know their kids just first year university. And so I reached out to them. My conversation with them is, hey, at the end of, what's happening next year? Or do you need help finding them a place to rent? Have you thought about maybe buying a rental place, buying a place that, you could rent out to other students? You got to go through your list of every name and just write what you think mentally, where they are in their life and what might be an opportunity for you to present to them. You'll be amazed if you do this every year, how all of a sudden you're making check marks on things that you've had on that list 3 or 4 years, where they're all of a sudden happening because you're giving that message to that consumer about these are things that you should be looking at doing. Okay, I do it every year. You guys have ever been in my office? You see I have it always beside me here. I have a list in my room at home, and I look at it daily. And I also add to it during the year, depending on conversations that I have with different people. Okay, you have to look at it daily. Don't just make a list and tuck it away. but go through everybody every contact you've ever had, and just think about where they are in their life. What could you be what could be the opportunity that they might be doing in real estate? They could be in a position where, hey, you know what? 3-4 years ago, they mentioned they got a promotion in a job. Well, maybe now they're looking at buying an investment property. Maybe they're looking at being a mover, right? But go through everybody that you know, make that list, think about where they are, because that's another opportunity. Okay. Questions, thoughts? I did want to do this because I know there's a lot of negative noise. I know the easiest thing is no decision. Easiest thing for agents are, hey, I'm not going to do much because, the market is just in a stall right now. Wrong thing to do. Good agents that work consistently, daily, weekly, are going to soar in this business. Especially the ones that, remember, we talked about in the fall, right? In the fall, we talked about making your connections then, because those connections that you're doing in the fall are going to drive your business January, February, March. And I know agents that have reached out to me already and said, hey, thanks very much for doing that, because I now have activity coming January, February, March from people that I reached out with in October, November, December. Okay. Don't be sitting here 5 months from now going, well, I was waiting for the market to change. The market is always there. You just have to be consistent at it and you'll get the market. Questions, thoughts?
I have a quick question. That first home savings account, you mentioned if you hadn't purchased a home ever or in the last 5 years?
5 years. Yeah.
Really
Yeah,
interesting.
so what it is, a 5-year program. So you can start putting your money in now. And you can put money in for 5 years. And if you have not owned anything in those 5-year period, then you can take the money out tax-free as part of your down payment, including any appreciation.
So even if you have been a homeowner in the past?
Correct.
Huh, really? Thank you.
Hi, Doug. Can I share something I heard from my accountant?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
So I got a call from my accountant about 3-4 months ago because I started a couple of my properties on Airbnb and as well as my cottage.
Yeah.
And he knew that I was going to be starting it in 2024. And he called me, he said, you may not want to do that or reconsider, because any property that's put on Airbnb, you have to pay now. And Revenue Canada, I believe was Supreme Court case on this, that you have to pay 13% tax before the capital gains on the lump sum. So when you sell it, you got to pay 13% tax, then the capital gains. So I withdrew mine from Airbnb, my properties. As long as it's done more than 10%, you'll pay that tax.
Yeah, I'm not definite on that. I have heard that the government is looking at any short-term rentals as being a business.
Yeah.
And as a business service, you should be charging HST.
Yeah, and then you're gonna pay 13% when you sell it, and they're gonna charge you on the full amount. Then capital gains, you got to pay on the rest.
That's what
And they want a court case. My accountant called me saying they want a court case.
Yeah.
On that.
Okay. Yeah, well, good. If you are dealing with any of that stuff,
Yeah.
reach out to an accountant, reach out to your financial, make sure your clients get the proper advice. But thank you for sharing that. And again, it's a matter of, understanding all the programs, right? And you don't have to know them all. Just make sure you got somebody on your team who's giving you advice, like an accountant, like a lawyer, to be able to say, here are, and each scenario will be different, right? But what it gets down to is you have to be consistent daily and weekly. Okay. in this business of communicating with people. And just drum out the, just get rid of all the negative stuff. And there'll be lots of it. But if you're consistent and you and realize there's opportunities for not only your clients, but for yourselves. Okay. This is the opportunity time.
Could I throw a wrench in all of this?
Sure.
What happens if we become American?
Well, if we become American, I don't think it's going to happen over the next 6 months. But if we become American, then I guess we'll have to deal with it then. But
Good answer.
right now, I'm dealing with what I know, and what I know is that then over the next 6 months, if you sit back and wait for the market to turn around, you're missing out on opportunities,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
right?
Scott,
So,
it's Clarence, can I say something?
absolutely.
Okay, Scott, I don't know if you saw me disappear from the screen 30 seconds ago, 45. An investor I've been bugging.
Yeah.
Just called me. We're doing an offer closing January 31st that I've been bugging him about. And he says, give me the terms and closing just like that, investor. So
Fabulous. See?
I was going to bring up earlier in the bank, another property I had that I'm dealing with, not a bank, but a mortgage lender, and they give out with 5% down, they give a 95% vendor take back to get this property sold. And they have dumped since September, they've dumped a lot of properties they quietly own. They don't like to advertise power sales and stuff. You don't see what we used to see.
Yeah.
But they've adopted a policy that they will give, like I said, they just give 95% mortgage with 5% down to investor to get this property sold. I've had for 6 months with
Okay, well, can I get you to do all of us a favor?
but
When you come across an opportunity like that, can you send it out to me so I can send it out to everybody?
well, I do have a sixplex that's offering, the net income is 93,000 a year. And I just got to get the asking price down, but I'll send that out to everybody. That's going to be a good deal.
Yeah, like anybody in the network, if you come across something that you think is like, here's great value or a great opportunity, especially, something like unique like that, send it to Michelle and I, and we'll get it out to the region. Just, you never know who may have somebody, right? Like, especially dealing with investors. Or even your own, right? So if you come up with anything like that, let us know. But again, here's an investor who sees the opportunity now, where lots of them are sitting back waiting. The good ones, the smart ones, they're out buying. Yeah, Nancy, you got a question or comment? You're on mute. Unmute yourself.
I thought I did, sorry, I missed.
Yeah.
Just to comment on Tina's comment, I can't see us ever becoming the United States. I can't. I mean, I was reading a whole bunch of that about that this morning on the news. I just can't see it happening.
Well, I know one thing that I can control. The one thing that I can control is what I do daily, what I do weekly is going to make me successful. No matter who I am, where I am, what I'm doing, what my passport says, I know that I do the things I need to be doing as a professional realtor. I reach out to my client base. I give them good advice. I help them do what they need to be doing. I don't care where or what you're doing. You just do that. You'll have no issues. Control what you can control. Okay. And understand it's you that is in control of that. As far as everything else, like even in the fall, when we talked about outside influences, this is another one of those outside influences. You're going to be all kinds of noise about it, but that's not to get me anywhere. I know what I need to be doing is going through my database. I need to go contact my database. I need to understand the programs. I need to be communicating with and completing my tasks daily, weekly. I do that. The rest is going to take care of itself. So if you get off track personally, you get off track on what you should be doing, absolutely you're gonna get derailed. The top agents consistently know daily what they're gonna do, know exactly what they're doing weekly, know what that's gonna get them at the end of the month, the end of the year, 5 years, 7 year, 10 years. So I don't care where you are in the world. I know realtors all over, they do those things consistently and they are quite successful. All of you here can do the same thing. Just
Good
drown
point.
out the dead noise, be focused, and you will be successful. Everybody here wants to see everybody be successful, right? Whatever that successful is to you, right? And I know I communicate with a lot of you, most of you. Everybody wants to help everybody succeed. That's why doing this kind of information session, I thought it was important because of all the negative noise I've heard in the last 24, 48 hours. Any other comments before we wrap up?
Scott, if I can add something else, on January 2nd, I was fortunate enough, I got called. We had an appointment to a fellow who I dealt with a couple of years ago. His house is down in value like everybody. And you've been in it, I've been in it 39 years, and it's always in the career. It's always in trying to convince people to trade at lower dollars. He thought he should maybe wait this year to his house to go back up so he can go. And I said, when your house goes up, so does the other one. You're going like this all the time. And so we find it. So now he's on a tracking program here to get listings and stuff. We're going to sell his house, and even though he's going to lose probably 70 or 80,000, he's still got the equity that he can buy the house that he wants at the edge of town rather than downtown. And so those opportunities are there. And so I'm getting excited about 2025.
I totally agree. Opportunities are there if you believe them yourself. If you don't believe that there are opportunities there, contact me directly and I'll do a one-on-one session with you. Any other comments, suggestions?
I would like to bring up two things before we wrap up, if no one has any more comments about real estate or questions.
Okay.
Good. Okay. So two things. One, Monday, January 27th, we are having our in-office vision board event. If you have never been to it, it's super fun. Starting at 10, there's a short video that plays. Scott gives a little bit of a talk about 2025, what to expect, and then how we go about arranging our vision boards. A lot of it has to do with wealth and abundance and where those are situated kind of on our board and what that means. The lunch is included, all the materials that you need are included. It's an in-office event. It's really, really fun. So please RSVP in the email in your inbox. Thanks, Elizabeth. And the second thing I wanted to bring up, and maybe Alroy can speak to this, is March 20th to the 23rd is the Spring Cottage Life Show at the International Center in Mississauga. Last time we were all together, Alroy, Nancy, you guys were talking about having a booth there. I was wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of share some more information to the people that are here and watching the recording.
Hang on. Oh, there we are. Thanks for that plug, Michelle. Yeah, I was going to touch base with you yesterday about Cottage Life Show and try to figure out what we're doing there. But I would encourage maybe some of the Toronto agents, Mississauga agents to come out, because a lot of the people walking that show are your neighbors in the area, and they may be looking to buy a cottage. And if you can introduce us to them, we're happy to pay referrals to that type of situation, to guide them. And as you know, me and Nancy, we cover a huge area of cottage country. So yeah, Cottage Life Show. We'd love to have you out there.
Well, the other thing too, to add to that, Alroy, is 8 out of 10 people that I've dealt with in the last 2 or 3 years have been people moving from the GTA. So just because you're at the Cottage Life Show,
yep,
those people are selling in the GTA. So you don't know who you're going to run into, just to kind of add to what you were saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of opportunities, there's opportunities for people that are still working from home. They're living in Toronto and want to get out of town.
That's right.
I can't tell you how many lawyers and accountants and professionals that are all want to move up because they work remotely. They go back once every 3 weeks for a quick meeting, and that's it. So if you can find those people, send them our way. We're more than willing to help you out and find them a home.
Yeah, or just meet them at the Cottage Life, so like
Yeah.
come and support us at the booth.
Great.
Hi, it's me. I'm just changing directions. I don't know if you noticed I struggled at first. I just got a new laptop. When I first came on, I had no camera. I had to text my nephew. He said, Diane, move the little bar at the cross. Woo! So then I came on and I was upside down. I go, holy shit, now I'm upside down.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, saw that? So I struggled through, but I'm still here and I'm upright. So it's all good. Thank you. Happy New Year, everybody.
I was wondering how you pulled that trick off.
Yeah. And for anybody that does want to do a vision board, and I know that you're miles away, hours away, reach out to Michelle. We'll organize a Zoom for anybody in your office and
Love
things
that.
like that to explain it to you. I'll send you there are specific areas on the vision board. Now, just before we finish, I know there are people that go, Scott, I know your vision board idea and your mental, how I do affirmations, I do all that. They work.
Yeah.
I've been doing them 44 years. Michelle did one this year for 2024. Michelle, you want to explain what was on your vision board?
Sure.
She doesn't know I was going to do this one.
Always a surprise. Okay, so on my vision board, I had a lot of things that I knew that I had to get done. I had to finish my RICO courses. I had some other things that I knew I had to get done, but there were a lot of things that I put on there just because they represented like a general idea of what I wanted to do. So I knew I wanted to take a trip with my best friend. So I put that in the travel corner. I knew I needed to decide on a new car. For anyone that knows me, my last car, I drove her until she died. And she was leaking power steering fluid. I had no choice but to get a new car. So I just put general pictures of cars that I liked on my board. Fast forward like probably 3 months, and my friend and I are booking a trip. It's a great deal. We're going through everything, decide, okay, this is the best deal. We've never decided where we wanted to go, but best bang for our buck, might as well try these places. I go look at my vision board that's in my room, look at it every day. And I realized that the 2 places that I've pictured on the board, just for general travel, are the 2 places that we're going. Never knew I wanted to go there, just put them in general. The other place I put was Arizona. Flash forward 4 months, we have to go to Arizona for the REI meeting, which I didn't know was happening. Those car pictures that I put just because, I actually now own one of those cars. Again, never thought that that was going to happen. And there's some other things too. Like this morning, I realized that in my kind of fashion and creative area, I put a pair of sunglasses, love sunglasses. The exact pair of sunglasses that are on that board are the ones that I did like a little TikTok video with on my 25th birthday. So my point is, whatever you believe, those vision boards, as long as you are looking at it, you are setting that mindset. The universe is very, very strange in how it acts, as long as you believe in what you're going to do.
I agree with you 100% because I've seen it year over year that my vision board, it's actually been my kids that pointed it out to me last year and said, Mom, look at all the things on here that you have accomplished. So, and I look at my one from the one I did the 2024. And again, it's like, oh, that happened, that happened, that happened, that happened. So I think just having it in front of you is a reminder that, you know what, this is what I'm working towards. And, you know, I want to do that. I said I wanted to do that. So I should really move forward and do that. So I think vision boards are very good. So
I couldn't agree more. Nancy, do you want to share what you just showed us, what that is? Near North Aviation. I wonder what that is.
You're on mute, Nancy.
I want to get my pilot license.
Great.
Amazing goal.
Atta girl.
Make-
about halfway through the ground school online. So technically, I can fly a plane. I just haven't physically, well, actually I've flown twice. I have flown a plane twice. I flew from Sudbury back to South River.
Yeah. So put it
That's
on
all
your
it is.
vision board, okay?
Have you
Did
done
it?
your solo yet?
Oh my God, no, I don't have the money for that. This is very expensive. I just have really good friends that own airplanes.
Yeah, it's again, put anything on, vision board, affirmations, goal setting. You need to be doing this stuff and you need to see it daily. It works. Part of the whole thing with where the marketplace is today, again, opportunities. You should have these opportunities written down somewhere where you see them daily, not just in your phone, not tucked away in a file. You need to see them, and a list of all those opportunities of where people in your database are in their life and what opportunities could you present to them. Just do those things, do your daily tasks, do your weekly tasks, keep the negative garbage out, and you guys will just soar. When most of the other agents are going to be sitting back waiting for something to happen, you will soar. And your consumers will thank you for it. They'll send you business. Okay. You're all great realtors. Just don't get caught up in a lot of the negativity that's going to be out there over the next little while. Realize there's opportunities not only for your clients, but possibly for yourself. Do your vision boards, do your goal setting, look at them consistently. And if you feel you need to have an accountability partner, reach out to me. On that note, I wish everybody a fabulous 2025. It is there for the taking.
Yeah.
Okay. All the best. Great to see so many people here.
Happy
Thanks,
New Year,
y'all.
everybody.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Hey, Nancy, if you have any questions on the your license, I have my private pilot license. So if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. We can chat.
I have a few.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Thanks,
Wonderful.
Scott.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.